Hi, I'm psychologist Dr. Rich O'Neill with this week's checkup from the neck up, the Midas Tickle, or money, money, jingle, kerching, chuckle, guffaw. Well, folks, about 50 years ago, I was 7 years old. That makes me, what, 57? Ha! I laugh in the face of the Grim Reaper. Anyway, there I was, standing in our living room, and my Aunt Mary and an ancient family friend, probably 50 years old, ain't life grand, Mrs. Beam, they were chatting at the other end of the room, and I see Aunt Mary nod at me and say, "That one is going to be a millionaire by the time he's 40. Looking back, that stage whisper was meant more for me than Mrs. B. Either way, I got the message. Money is big, and I was expected to march on in the O'Neill family quest of lifting ourselves from the stony hunger of a small rocky farm in Ireland. And since I'd already heard the proverbial to get a good job, get a good education 1,000,000 times, I knew I was doomed to a life of homework. So I did my studies and I became Dr. Neckup and went into the happiness business. Then, 50 years later, in fact, about a week or so ago, a major research paper on thousands of us hit the press reporting that money doesn't buy happiness, more or less. The less part is that if you make less than $75,000 a year, you'll be less happy than if you make more. But once you get to 75K, more cash doesn't add to feeling good. You'll feel more successful, but not much perkier when you wake up in the morning. Now they tell me. But then the question is, what does make the difference? Anyway, later in the week, I'm working another day, another dollar, training some folks in my particular brand of Get Happier, and I'm thinking about how bigger money doesn't mean bigger happy. And we're practicing listening closely to the other person before we start talking about ourselves. And then we start really feeling understood by each other, and we notice we're all starting to feel calmer. And out of this calmness pops a happy feeling between us, and then we start joking a bit. And I realize that that laughter sounds like the real thing, more like gold than the kerching of cash. So to get happier, my young friends, study hard. And to us more ancient ones, let's listen up to each other. And I think I'm finally understanding why a number of my clients have said, always with a chuckle or an out-and-out guffaw, "You know who you remind me of, Doc? Kramer from Seinfeld." Ha! Guess I was listening pretty good that day. I'm Dr. Rich O'Neill. Thanks for tuning in.